Come closer to the music.
Broadcasting live from Marvin E. Robinson School of Business and Management, Dallas, Texas.
My radio station.
We are KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
Enter the realm of KSBM Radio's creation. Student-led from inception to narration. Crafting content from dawn until dusk. All students involved in the work and the fuss. In the heart of Townview where voices reside. Student-led discussions where ideas collide. From interviews with leaders, peers, and businesses. Just watch us work creating innovative content. Every aspect managed with student finesse. From podcast production to social media press. No task too daunting, no challenge too grand. KSBM Radio, we taking a stand. KSBM Radio, students leading the way. Every task idea, we seize the day. Witness now as all of our efforts break through. KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
Come closer to the music.
Broadcasting live from Marvin E. Robinson School of Business and Management, Dallas, Texas.
My radio station.
We are KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
Welcome back to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview. I'm your host, Champ.
I'm Terrence.
I'm Rosie.
And I'm AD.
And today's hot topic will be, are you who your friend group is? But before we get into the good stuff, I want to ask how Spooktober's been looking at Townview for you guys.
I know recently they had an SEM and Law Fright Fest.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had a couple haunted hallways, I think one of them even had a dance to go with it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Law one.
Was that the Law one? I saw like a bunch of social media about Law.
Yeah, they've been good on that. Their law, their social media is good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Were they the only ones that had haunted halls though?
I think Health is gonna have one. I can see like the thing they're like building up, but I don't know when it is.
Okay.
And recently we just had our game night, so
Oh, okay.
if y'all were there, y'all know what happened.
I think it's so cool that we're having events like that now. Like, especially as seniors, it's like, oh, we're about to leave, but we get to like leave something. Like this is our first game night, right?
Yes.
Yeah. First one.
And I think Miss West wants to make it a tradition, so that's pretty cool.
Hopefully the sophomores, the next seniors, can lead that on and make it kind of a tradition.
Yeah, and it helps with spirit, especially since we don't have a football team at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's talk about that choir concert. I know both of y'all are in choir. How was that?
It was good.
Yeah, it was pretty. I liked it. It was basically my first choir concert. It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but it was a little nerve-wracking though, because my parents were there and it was a pretty big crowd.
Mm-hmm. We sang Sammy, what did we sing?
Lacrimosa, Cross the River Jordan, Seize the Day.
Oh.
Was that y'all's first time singing those songs?
I mean, we've been practicing for a while, since maybe the start of the year.
No, yeah, we got 3 sheets of music the first week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been practicing for a while, so yeah.
Yeah, and were all those songs in English?
No, Lacrimosa was in, I believe, French.
Oh, okay.
But, you hear it everywhere, though. It's kind of like a commercial, favorite. But I think the crowd was kind of surprised that we sang it because no one really, listens to the whole song. You kind of only hear, snippets of the song.
And did y'all perform with Modern Band, too?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
They were good. Modern Band, they performed more recent songs that come out, but they also performed Sweet Caroline, which is a little older song.
Yeah.
But, not old, but that's whenever we came in and we sang the chorus part of it at the end, and then we went to our performance.
Oh, that's sweet. And could y'all give us a little snippet of that performance right now?
No.
If y'all were there, y'all heard it.
Yeah.
So basically what y'all are saying is be there next time.
Yeah, be there next time. We have a choir performance, but that's for Christmas. It's at a church.
Yeah.
So y'all better be there.
That's cool. I love Christmas time stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so now that we've got a little bit about what's going on at school, let's talk about friend groups at school. Do y'all know what guilty by association is?
I've heard of it.
I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think I know the general idea of it.
Okay, so officially, according to Oxford Dictionary, guilty by association is guilt ascribed to somebody not because of any evidence, right?
Yes.
But because of their relationship with the accused. So basically, somebody's found guilty because of who they're hanging out with. And what's really interesting is that you can't find somebody guilty by association by law, but there's a way through joint enterprise, which Camila, Rosie, why don't you tell me what that is?
So joint enterprise is basically you're with your friend, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls out a deadly weapon towards someone. If you don't say something, you are being charged with the same charges because of the fact that you were there and you didn't say nothing. But if you do say something to the police, you won't get charged at all. And that's kind of like it goes for everyone in like every state.
Okay, so like wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
Yeah, and so, well, it's kind of weird because the argument is that society is like the police, right? They can hold you
Right.
accountable for the actions of somebody else.
Because you're a witness to a crime. In that case, it turns into something else.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what about in friend groups? Like, say, I don't know, your homeboy cheated on somebody I knew. Like, I think that birds of a feather flock together. So I would hold your whole friend group in that same regard. Like, I wouldn't go near y'all or nothing.
I feel like that's a little different because like I'm not gonna do everything my friend does. Like I'm not friends with them because they cheated. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we have different values and morals. You know what I mean?
But also like you wouldn't be friends with someone that you don't have like the same ideologies as them. So in some way you would have the same ideologies as someone that cheats because that's your friend, that's who you associate yourself with all of the time.
Well, I mean, that goes into like personal choice and like having multiple different types of friends. Like you don't have the same friends for everything. You have different friends for different things. Not everybody you meet is going to have the exact same beliefs and choices as you. And that's good. That helps you develop more of a personality and develop who you're going to be and where your morals are and where you stand.
Yeah. I feel like you can have different friends for like different things. Like you can have a friend you play football with, friends you play football with, like friends to help you with homework.
Okay.
Like
Definitely.
stuff like that.
But what about at our age? Like, especially like sophomore and freshman year where you're 14 and 15 and you're more influenced. What do you think about peer pressure? Like, I feel like that has such a big part to play in what people do when they're that age.
I feel like the underclassmen mainly fall more into peer pressure because they are coming into a new environment. They are meeting new people, and their kind of mindset is kind of fragile and easily manipulated in a sense because all of us are freshman year. Like, we're not the same person who we were. Like, we became who we were because of the experiences we had. But, like, you can't tell me, like, back in the day, like, you didn't follow the crowd because of what society said. And society, like, for us was, like, high school.
Yeah.
Like, the people around us, like, you can't tell me that, like, you didn't do certain things or certain actions because your friends did them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely think that at that point, you need to. It's I don't know. It's hard to say because at some point you have to draw the line and say, this is where I stand. This is where they stand. I'm not gonna disassociate myself with them because they make a mistake or because they mess up here or there. We're all human. We're all people. So I don't think that we should necessarily penalize everybody for the actions of the people around them. And I think we should also be more forgiving to those who do make mistakes.
Yeah, and I feel like coming back to like that guilty by association point.
Yeah.
Like if your friend does something, you might not always know about it. Like you might always not be in the know. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. You also have to think about like context really matters in a situation like that. Like if my friend did something and I knew about it, how would it also affect me if I told someone else about it?
I don't know. Personally, I believe that it does affect you as a person because we are in high school and things do go around very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think it goes like that almost in every high school because in reality, we are with people every day, basically of the week, 4 days out of the week. And things go around so fast, and you can't tell me that people from high school, which would be the society, doesn't associate you with them and their actions with someone. Because right now in high school, it's really big on like, oh, this person is known for this and they're friends with them, so they probably do that. Like, you can't change their point of view.
Yeah. And you are who your friend group is because of that loyalty. Like, of course, your friends aren't perfect, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to defend them. Like, if they're going to make a choice like that, you're going to defend them. You're still going to be friends with them. So I feel like that's why you can ascribe that guilt to those people, because they're still choosing to be friends with those
I
who made the
get
actions.
I get that, but it also like comes down to like do I really want to lose a friend over like one action that they did that I don't approve of? Like,
Right.
I'm still friends with them for certain reasons, and it's not like because of the mistake they made.
Right.
Okay.
That gets into loyalty. Like, if that friend has been there for you and supported you through your hard times, why wouldn't you do the same for them?
But also, you can't tell me that friend, if that friend did it once, what's gonna stop them from doing that bad action again?
Yeah.
And what's gonna stop them from like not influencing you to do that bad action?
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I also feel like people can change over time, and I feel like you have to know your own values and morals to like be like, hey friend, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, and like don't try to influence me to do this.
But when you talk about social responsibility like that, I still feel like it's your part. Like, if you're part of a friend group, it's still your responsibility if something happens bad, even though you warn them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I can see that like it's sort of your responsibility, but I feel like it's not something that you should be guilty of, so
Okay.
to speak.
Could you expand on
That's
that,
what I'm
AD?
saying. I don't necessarily think that you should be guilty. I'm going back to your point. Yeah, I can warn them. I can advise them not to do that thing. But at the end of the day, it's their choice to do that thing. So I wouldn't be responsible for their actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, like, oh, that's your friend. Why didn't you check your friend? I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if I did check them and they still did what they did, that's not on me.
But why would you even still be friends with them? If they keep on doing that same action and you don't see any change, why would you still associate yourself with that person?
And think about the culture of high school. Like, your friend group is basically who you are. Like, not saying cliques and everything like that, but your friend group, they're going to have a certain reputation, and that reputation is going to spread onto you.
Yes.
So I feel like it's still valid that you can be who your friend group is, because that's how everybody's thinking around you. No matter if you think differently, that's the culture of high school.
And also that kind of affects like mainly like the younger classmen or the underclassmen. They didn't, well, right now they haven't come to that realization, because I feel like through high school we go through this path of like we learn our lessons the hard way.
Yeah.
Because if someone tells you, okay, like you can't be friends with him, they do this, well, you're gonna learn that through high school. But also I feel like they kind of like get the effect of it more. Because like they believe that, oh, that person would never do that to me, and then they're stuck in that situation where they're guilty by association. And like I feel like it hurts them more mentally, because they're still in that naive mindset of, okay, like my friends are gonna protect me and they would never do that to me, until they're put in that situation of now I'm getting backlash because of what they're doing, of their actions. And I feel like that's when you learn that as a person. But like as a kid, you don't really like, that doesn't click in your mind.
I feel like we also all make assumptions upon people. I think everybody, like we've already said, I think everybody is their own person in a certain way, and I get that you would associate them with who they hang around with, but at the same time, if you don't know that person, then how can you cast judgment upon that person if you don't actually know who they are, or actually took the time to find out who they are as a person?
Yeah, I feel like the same way. Like people, like y'all said, y'all kind of assume some people are bad because they hang with a certain group of people. But like, I feel like making assumptions like that could lead to like a barrier between like someone that could possibly be your friend, and like it leads like to an unfair judgment, and like it's just like hurting relationships when you do that.
But also like as your friend can also have that same mentality in a sense, because of the fact that if your friend doesn't like someone, you're not gonna like them.
Yeah, and think about it in pop culture. So think about in pop culture, like we saw on YouTube, like we saw all of these famous people getting canceled because of, one, they were friends or made videos with somebody who did something wrong. Like, what do you think about that? Like, the same thing happens with us.
I mean,
Do you think that's okay?
I feel like that draws back into rumors, right? High school is full of rumors, right? And once you say something one time and then it gets to another person, that same person can make it turn into something completely different, and so on and so forth. And then eventually you're at person 10 and it's something that they didn't even do. And now it's like, oh my God. So I feel like making judgments based on that is a little dangerous because you don't know. Like, you're hearing it from so-and-so who heard it from so-and-so who heard it from so-and-so. You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So let's move aside from just one friend group.
Okay.
Consider you have 2 friend groups. Something happens between both of them. Where do your morals go? You're best friends with, say, let's go back to the cheating scenario. Best friends, your homeboy, cheat on your homegirl. What are you going to do?
That's different.
Where do your values lie?
First, I feel like I'd have to know why that person's cheating on the other person, because like context really matters.
Okay,
like,
when assigning guilt.
yeah, like did one person do something to the other person? Like, I don't think it's right to cheat,
Yeah, of course.
but like I gotta know why, because sometimes people do things for certain reasons that are bad, but like in their mind they see it like as a neutral thing.
Because of like their culture and like their family.
But tying it back, like to guilty by association, like you can't tell me that the girl isn't gonna assume or gonna put the blame on you because you knew. Now that's like you, like the person who cheated, and now you're getting that backlash too because you know. And then let's say you were there, didn't say anything, that still falls back into guilty by association because you were part of it. You were part of the wrongdoing, and you didn't say anything to her. So like now, what are you gonna do?
I feel like at the same time that goes into obligation. Like, I don't know. Like, I have loyalties to both people. So would I turn my back on another to go support the other one? Where does that put me? That kind of puts me in an awkward position where I'm in the middle of 2 things. And I feel like that there's 2 sides to every coin, right? There's her side, there's his side. Now, do I agree that he cheated? No, obviously not, because that's morally the wrong thing to do. But at the same time, I have to hear both sides, right? Especially if I'm friends with this person and friends with that person.
But like tying it back to what you said, like kind of like everybody making their own decisions, like why wouldn't you make your own decision in that sense of like let's say you know it's morally wrong and like you do want to say something. Like, are you just not saying anything because of that loyalty you had? Now, like, are you just gonna follow the crowd because he cheated and like no one else said something? So like, would you just not say anything?
I feel like that was his decision. And it's his place. And it's his place.
So you're a firm believer in your actions,
Yeah, you are responsible for what you do as a person.
Yeah, but think about how young we are right now. Some people, they still haven't figured that out. And that's why it's so important to pick what friends you're around and who's doing what. Because at the end of the day, if they do something wrong, it's going to fall back on you. My parents always tell me that.
I get that, but I feel like in a relationship, like if you're cheating on someone, it's more on the individual, not the friend.
Definitely.
Okay.
Because like the friend had nothing to do with it. The friend's not dating the
I'm
girl.
not in his ear talking about, yeah, you should do this.
Yeah.
But that friend, think about it, that friend is gonna be in your ear being like, okay, you should cheat on her like this one, no one will know. Like now they're influencing you into doing that bad action. So like, are you still gonna be friends with someone that is influencing you to do the wrong thing?
Enough of the cheating. Let's talk about like if somebody shared a secret. Okay? So say it's not a bad secret, but they don't want you to share that secret. Where are you gonna assign the guilt? To your friend that shared the secret? Or
like they shared your secret?
Yeah, they shared your secret, right?
They shared your
so
secret.
Do you
that I don't want
think
to share.
the people who heard the secret, right? Are they guilty because they heard the secret?
No, definitely not.
I think the person who's like spread the
That's what I'm saying.
secret is the
But
person
also
at
think
fault.
about it, we're in high
But they're
school.
sharing it.
People elaborate, they add things to the story, they add things to the secret.
Definitely.
So also it's like, okay, you're put in that position of like, y'all added things to that secret. So like now y'all are guilty too because y'all are over here like adding to the secret. So like that is like in a way of guilty by association because that wasn't your secret to tell.
I put the blame on the friend though, because I'm the one. You're my friend. I trusted you with my information, and then you went and told other people.
But it wasn't a bad secret.
Well, yeah, but it
Still,
really
we're
like
talking about
it
the
questions
context,
their
yeah.
loyalty. Like, if I tell them a secret, part of the blame's on me for even telling them the secret. First of all,
Right.
then they're the second to blame though, because why would they share personal information about me without telling me?
Exactly. I trusted you enough to be like, hey, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
And then you went and told other people. So I wouldn't put the blame on others because they're just
They're just
repeating
hearing
what
the
they were
secret?
told. Yeah. They're basically in that situation, they're not necessarily like kind of like a bystander. They witnessed a person saying something or doing something.
But they're adding to it though. They're adding fuel to the fire. Like in Spanish, like it's like le estás echando like salsa al taco. Like you're adding things that you shouldn't be adding. Now, are you gonna get on them because of the fact that they are like putting fuel to the fire? Like they're making the secret worse. So are you gonna put the blame on them too?
I wouldn't put the blame on them. Like I wouldn't like them because they did that, but it's not like I'm gonna personally talk to them like face to face and be like, hey, you shouldn't do this because I mean it's more my friend's fault than their fault.
Yeah. Blame is such a trivial thing. But with y'all's experiences and y'all's stances on what guilty by association is and how you interpret it in friend groups, what would be some advice that you give to underclassmen or even your friends right now on how to carry themselves or their attitudes right now?
I feel like the main thing they should know is that they should like hold like a sense of like morals, beliefs, and values that like really ground them. So like if a friend's like, hey, we should like go smoke or something, they should be like, no, that's not like a good thing to do, you know?
I was saying like just like know who you are
Yeah.
in a person, because when you're put in that position of being influenced to do the wrong thing, like a lot of things go through your mind, and we are in high school and we are put in that position of like we want to follow the crowd, we want to fit in with everybody, but like to underclassmen, if people think you're weird, like let people think you're weird, but like you know who you are and you know your morals and you know that you wouldn't commit an action just because of getting peer pressured. I'll just say that, like, just know who you are and like stick to that.
I feel like you should definitely know where you draw the line. Kind of like what Sammy said, have morals and values, but definitely know like where you would be like, okay, maybe I'm not going to do exactly what this person is doing at this time. Maybe that wouldn't be a good choice for me in my future.
Yeah. So in short, know yourself, know your morals, stick to who you are, and choose your friends wisely. I'm a firm believer. I have to keep saying it again. Birds of a feather flock together. And it's going to reflect on you what the people around you are doing, no matter what. Like, you're still a part of that community. Now, on to, more scary things than friend groups and people betraying each other. What about Hurricane Milton?
Is that the one that just recently happened in Florida?
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about it. AD, what do you know about it?
I know that originally it was a Category 3 hurricane and then got upgraded all the way up to a Category 5 hurricane within 24 hours because of its 95-mile-per-hour increase in wind. So now it's at...
Wait. So categories? What is that when it comes to hurricanes?
So basically hurricanes are put in categories. Like Category 1 would be like a tropical storm.
Okay.
Or Category 5 would be like a more devastating hurricane. It's basically based on the damage that they think that certain storm would cause to that community or that place.
So 5 is bad.
Yeah, 5 is pretty bad.
I heard about it all over the news. But I don't know, like, if I'm there, I feel like I low-key would have stayed. Does that make me crazy?
You would have stayed?
Yeah.
I would definitely not
Because
stay.
think about it, like, my house, everything I know is there. Everything I've ever, like, generations of my family have been there. Like, what if I couldn't get out fast enough?
No, I still wouldn't have stayed because of the fact that it hit Tampa. And a hurricane hasn't hit Tampa since 31 around that time. Like, imagine, and that was a Category 3. Now we're talking about Category 5. Like, that's like the worst of the worst. That's like a hurricane. Like, you're telling me you would stay there?
I kind of get where you come from.
Yeah.
When you say that, like, you'd stay there because, like, if all your family's there, all like everything you love is there, you got like a pet, a family, your house. Where are you gonna flee to? But I also get like leaving because you want to stay safe, you want to stay alive, and like they probably have like insurance there in like Florida that like covers the house. But you also be like displaced for a while if your house gets destroyed.
I think if you're there and everything gets destroyed and you know your stuff is gonna get destroyed anyway, leave. It's not a deep conversation for me. If you know everything that you have, I get what you're saying. That's everything you have, and that's all that you know. But if it's all going to get destroyed anyway, and you're gonna have to rebuild anyway, because hurricanes are Now it doesn't usually happen in Tampa, but across Florida it happens every year. People's houses get destroyed, people's houses get flooded, things of that nature. So if you're so used to that, then you might as well leave because you're gonna have to rebuild anyway.
But think about that, like being used to it. Think of the risk. Like people live in Hawaii where there's volcanoes where you could literally like landslide, all of that. It can erupt any day. But you take that risk by being there so you know like the lower land prices or like living next to the beach. Like you take that risk. So you gotta know like, okay, this is what I gotta do. I live here.
But also, like, think about it. Like, a hurricane is, like, deadly. Like, those, like, you can't control that. Or, like, those come out of nowhere sometimes. Wasn't it two? Weren't they one and then they split and then they hit different areas? So, like, when it comes to things like that, like, nature is so unexpected and it's so unpredictable that it's, like, I wouldn't have stayed because, like, if you're worried about your things that are gonna be like lost or are gonna be like ruined, you can like take some of your like personal stuff and like those won't get ruined because you're at safety too. But like also like there's people who left like their animals in cages and like left them there like just to like suffer through that hurricane and like go through that pain of being like, okay, like my owner left me.
But, like, I would still go back because, like, every year, like, doesn't a hurricane come and, like, go the other way?
Yeah.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Tampa, I'm not too sure, but in Florida, yeah, basically.
Tampa's not really on like the main area that's usually like hit. It's usually the more outer areas. Tampa's a little more inland. It doesn't really face these issues a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like hurricanes are so unpredictable. Like, like AD said, it was a Category 3, but then it went to a Category 5. So, like, you never really know with like natural disasters like that.
Yeah. You just do the best with what you have.
I don't know. When I hear hurricane, I hear run. I hear run.
Oh
No,
my
but
gosh.
yeah.
No, but it did do a lot of damage. Like,
It
the
did.
pictures are scary and sad.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about what happened to the fair? In the fair?
The fair?
The kid that got trampled.
What?
heard
Trampled
about
with what?
that.
How?
No, I heard he got trampled. Wasn't it a horse?
Oh my
Like a
gosh.
horse.
Wow.
Officer spilled a drink on the horse.
Yeah, he accidentally spilled a drink on the horse. The horse got a little too,
Rowdy.
rowdy
Agitated.
or
Yeah.
excited, or the horse got scared or something like that, and then it resulted in the kid getting trampled, unfortunately.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
But, like, think about the fair as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to go this year because of how many people were going.
Yeah,
but also the fair is like an experience thing.
yeah, like 2.8 million people went to the fair this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much was he asking for?
It's asking for about $1 million.
Do you guys think
A million.
it's worth it to get trampled
I don't.
and get
I mean-
$1 million back?
Well, I don't think people go to get trampled, but
Well, like, if it,
Yeah, that's not the
I
goal.
mean, if it's like okay for him to ask for like $1 million just because he got trampled,
Is that like with
Yeah.
the medical expenses paid or?
I think so.
Okay.
So it's gonna be more.
yeah,
he deserves all he can get.
$1 million is a bit much, I think.
You think so?
$1 million is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
Be-
lot of
A
money.
lot of money.
Think about why people come to the fair. They come for an experience and like to have a good time, eat some cheesecake or something. You know what I mean?
I get it.
I get it, but at the same time, that was an accident. Unless it was something that was done on purpose to purposely harm this person, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
And what
know.
happened to the
don't know.
horse?
Probably nothing. Like, it wasn't a wild horse. Like, if
I'm
it was
saying.
a wild horse and the horse purposely hit,
Committed that.
yeah, then I can see the $1 million. And like,
But it was
maybe
an
something happens.
accident. Like I understand like the medical bills being paid, but asking for $1 million, no,
I don't know.
Yeah, and
because it was an accident.
I also feel that it's kind of the cop's fault too for spilling the drink.
Oh yeah, you
Right,
shouldn't
right.
be
Yeah.
drinking and riding a horse.
I feel like he should have a fee or something.
yeah, some kind of damages.
but not $1 million.
That's
but-
$1 million is a lot of money for
let's,
something like that.
let's talk about the fair as a whole though. Like, did y'all even go this year?
I didn't.
I went a
I
couple times
did.
actually.
Oh, you did. And how much
Yes.
did you spend like on average?
It was per person. I'll say like you would at least spend $100. That's just per person if like you actually want to do something. But I did go with a special someone, and we did spend a little bit, like 200 around that. Like it gets expensive.
I know for me, only paying for myself, she's about right. I spend about 80 to 100 because you got to pay for parking,
That's
then
pretty-
the tickets,
that's
then
low
the
on the fair.
food. That's not really, you expect to spend that type of money at the fair. It's kind of expected at this point.
Do you think it's worth it? Like, while we live in Texas, like, do you think it's worth it for us to go?
I mean, like I think it's worth it to go like a couple times, but like after a certain point, I feel like it gets kind of repetitive. You really just need like a friend group or something that really makes it fun for it to be worth it.
I definitely agree with that. I usually go with friends, so I feel like that's where I find value, and it's time to spend with my friends. I'm having a good time with my friends, so I feel like it's worth it in that sense.
I don't know. I feel like it's more like a Texas thing. Like it's like the fair, like they have a countdown. Like the fair just ended and like their countdown, they already put up a countdown. They'll be like, "Oh, see you in so many days." Yeah. And it's like that's what people look forward to, because like you can't tell me that like as a kid like you didn't have a memory of the fair.
Yeah, I did.
I do. And I know some people like they'll come out of state or like from different cities just to come to the fair because it's like such a big thing in Texas.
But that comes back to my point. I mean, if so many people are coming from out of state, it just gets crowded and more crowded every year, and more people, prices are going to go up. So I feel like, honestly, it's not worth it with how much it's costing. Like, you go to another smaller fair, like, an hour away and have a better experience because you're not so overwhelmed by people. And were people passing out?
Oh, yeah, it was hot. I remember that. It was pretty hot. I mean, I don't know if that's like a fair issue. I think that's just a state of Texas issue, and I think it's hot everywhere in the South, and that's where state fairs are. It's in the South, so I feel like that's more of like it was really hot. People didn't properly hydrate, and they passed out.
Yeah, it was a little bit overwhelming. I will say that, like, kind of getting the fear of getting lost.
Yeah, but you can't control the weather. You just have to you have to work on your resources, like your fans. Like, I know sometimes they have, like, with water, too, right? Like, under the fans. So I feel like they have to anticipate that kind of volume and do better on it.
I do feel like they do a pretty good job of maintaining that, though.
Yeah. But speaking of fairs and, like, festivals, I know we talked about a law Fright Fest, but how about actual Fright Fest? Are y'all planning to go?
Like Six Flags?
Six Flags.
No.
Well,
it's too expensive.
Wait, before we get into the price, for our audience that doesn't know what Fright Fest might be, could somebody explain?
So Fright Fest, basically Six Flags does this like October, like it's around the October month. Okay. That basically like it's like this specific section like in Six Flags, and like you get like scared, like they hire actors. And, like, they'll come up to you, and then, like, they'll scare you. Like, they'll touch you a little bit. But, like, the main thing is, like, if you want to get on rides, like, they can get on rides with you. Oh, no. They can follow you.
Yeah, they do a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I've never been personally. I've seen videos and stuff like that. It seems like a lot. I don't know. I might go just to see what it is about. Maybe eventually might go. Okay. You know, maybe. I don't know. I don't like people touching me, though. So.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I went once when I was younger, like a kid, maybe 10, 12, something. But, like, there were, like, people, like, they dressed up, like, running around scaring people, and, like, they, like, tried to scare, like, me and my family and stuff. And it was cool, I guess. It was all right. It wasn't for me, but I don't know. I feel like if I went now and someone, like, tried to scare me, like, I'd, like, react real bad and, like, accidentally hit them or something.
Don't you have, like, this type of waiver or something when you go in?
For kids, I know that you can, like, sign to be scared or not. I don't know.
Yeah, like they give them like a little like glowing thing. Like you can sign if like they want to get scared or if they don't. It's like this little like glowing like little glowing like wristband or something like that, and like they'll put it around their neck so like the scarers know like not to scare the kid or like not really touch the kid.
Rosie, you mentioned prices earlier. How much does this cost?
So the regular pass is $80, not including food.
For how long?
For basically like the time you go, I guess.
The one day.
But if you want the premium pass, it's $170. And like what includes with that is you'll just basically get like a free ride pass. So only in one ride you'll be able to like get there and like show your pass and be like, hey, like I want to skip the line. You'll get the free skip the line pass. And like you'll get like 15% like out of like food. So like they'll discount it, but it's only for one.
And who's eating that amusement park?
No.
Amusement park food. I mean, if you're there for the day, you're gonna get something to eat at some point. So I get that. That makes sense.
How expensive even is the food? Do y'all know?
It's like a solid like $20.
I don't know. It's like always 14 something.
Like I remember eating one time that Six Flags food. And it wasn't the best.
I've been to Six Flags a couple times. I've had the food before. It's not amazing. you know.
But
But
I
it's
mean,
food.
it's so expensive, but I feel like at the end of the day, it is worth it. Like Terrence was mentioning, like the experience he had with his family, like those memories for little kids, it's always gonna stay with them. And I feel like that's the point of going, like for the experience, no matter how much your pockets hurt afterward.
But like you can get the experience more in the fair more than like Six Flags, because Six Flags is for like a specific group of people. It's like you want to get scared, and me personally, like that's not me.
Yeah.
No, because like all of these scary movies have been coming out, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Terrifier. Like, did you guys see those clips? They're crazy. They're a
I
little
saw it,
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I feel like the Fright Fest,
Yeah.
and, like the fair are catered like towards totally different people. Like,
Yeah.
Think so?
yeah, because like the fair, you have like people wanting to have like fun, a good time, usually with like a significant other or whatever, or like their family. But like for Fright Fest, you have like people who want to get scared, people who are into like scary stuff, and it's like usually like with their friends or whatever. So yeah.
I feel like it's all for families. I mean, it's all going to be about going out together, especially for how much money it costs. You're going to want to spread some of that around.
Yeah.
But I saw you also like have a bring a friend part too. So I feel like that's worth it if you buy the premium pass.
I feel that.
I didn't know that. I feel yeah.
It's definitely a friend experience. Like you go with somebody, or I mean, it's a family thing too. But I feel like you would have more fun or like more engagement as you going with a friend.
Yeah. I feel like it's more like the thrill of that, like, I'm about to get scared, and like the running around thing, like.
Oh no, people are running around.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Have you
Yeah.
seen the clips on social media? Like they're coming up. I think it's just like the too close. Like I need my personal bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was saying about that running around, but I don't know. Like, do you guys have any like closing advice you want to give people for surviving the fair as Texans?
Bring water.
Bring water.
Or can you? Do they let you?
Nah,
bring
you
water?
can't bring any
You
outside.
can
No.
bring water.
No,
Okay.
you can't bring anything from the outside anymore.
No,
People
I-
act too crazy.
Wow.
I don't know. I say bring a little fan, a little hand fan, because it will get hot, really hot.
It's Texas.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching today. I'm signing off with
Terrence.
Rosie.
AD.
and Champ. Make sure you follow our social medias everywhere at KSBM Radio _TVT, the voice of Townview, and we'll see you for our next topic. Thank you.
Stay awesome.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
My radio station.
We hope you enjoyed the great content and great discussion, all from a student's perspective. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at KSBM _TVT or on Facebook at KSBM Radio.
Add them on Facebook.
Check them on Facebook. Take care.